Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Sat Shri Akal to everyone. जुगो जुगो तो चली आ रही है रीत और रल मिल गए ये गीत फेमस सिख दे इस सोने प्लेटफॉर्म पे मैं हाँ तुम्हारी अपनी मनप्रीत. It's awful that perfect health is considered from physical fitness, not mental wellness. Today, in chapter 13 of the Candid Talks by famous Sikhs, we'll be celebrating health, mental and physical health. And to talk about the same, we have someone very, very special with us. His name is Dr. Kanwarbir Singh. He is a mental health therapist, entrepreneur, social worker, and CM's representative for COVID 19 in Delhi. Also, he's an international speaker who is known for speaking on lifestyle disorders, medical diagnosis, COVID 19 heart failures, and whatnot. The man is known for eliminating the psychological problems and long term addiction. I'm so sorry. The man is known for eliminating the psychological problems and long term addictions by using the very innovative and unique technique, which don't involve medicine. There is so much that we need to learn and unlearn. And to help us to do the same, we have somebody very, very, very special with us. So, with no further delays, let's call the man himself, Dr. Kanwarbir Singh.
And now, a man who needs no introduction.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Sat Sri Akal. Thank you very much, Manpreet, for inviting me on this great, the Candid talk show by famous Sikh. Really, I'm really very happy to be here.
We are honored that you have given us time because you are somebody who is doing so much, who is actually a real hero. And I'm really sorry for my throat. I am not well today. So excuse me for that.
Don't worry, you're in the right hands.
Yes, of course, I am. So, Doctor, with no further delay, let's start. And please tell us more about your role of being CM's representative COVID 19, how you and your team is managing the same, and what is the current situation, on ground experience, and everything. Because we know what we see on TV, but you have so much to tell. So, we would like if you can help us and let us know the real on ground reality.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, to asking me a straightforward question because this is something which is very important nowadays. Of course, in the second part, I may give a bit of my introduction. That current scenario is like that. Entire world is suffering from the pandemic. COVID-19, just giving a very short brief. They started from Wuhan, from China, and whatnot. There were a lot of theories behind it. Ultimately, it was found, that it's a typical virus. I have been very vocal and active since March, where I am on Facebook Live. I have given more than about 10 shows on COVID itself. The reason is that it's about 20 years I'm into, the virology and bacteria and all this type of thing. So we are into diagnostics. So we very well understand what it is and what are the implication of COVID. So as of now, we had influenza. COVID is just like an influenza virus, but it is got more of a symptom of SARS. So SARS-CoV-2 is given the name to this problem, and for common man, it is known as COVID-19. So it started in COVID-19 started in 2019, and now the problem is that it is a viral infection. So lot of care, lockdown, and everything has been done. Of late, in May, when we research, we find out that the virus should actually die when it crosses a temperature of more than 34 degrees centigrade. That is a typical thumb rule for virology. Whereas it happened the other way around, 40, 50 degrees, 60 degrees se bhi wo mar nahi raha si. It means that it is not a common virus. It is probably a biological virus which has been created. No, there has been substantial paper and it has been proved, and because of that, our country and every world has got altercation with our neighbor China. And since it's an imported virus and it's a problem, it's a biological weapon. Number one. Number two, virus problem normally take about 7 days. एक saying on there's a saying, if you take medicine for a viral problem, you will get cure in 7 days. Otherwise, 7 दिन. Matlab, if you don't take anything, then also it's going to take just 7 days, not more than that. But it is now stretched up to 1 year.
Yeah.
Why? Because the genetic material, which is called as a DNA, is the information carrier of one cell to other. तो होया किएगा कि जो कोविड वायरस है, द डीएनए हर 15 दिन 20 दिन के बाद एज पर राइज इन टेम्परेचर इट चेंजेस. Because of that, the problem aggravate every time. You see first wave, second wave, and third wave, entire world is suffering from it. ਹੁਣ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ this virus has become very deadly because people are not dying because of virus. Mind my line, this is very important. I don't think anybody has died because of viral infection. This virus got a capacity to give birth to bacterial infection, which is called pneumonia. So you see,
Okay.
most people have got a patches in their lungs. So okay, when they get their CT scan or X-ray done, they get to know that yes, it's a serious problem. They got a patches, and उन्होंने वो साल वाली दिक्कत होती है कि तो एक्चुअली सब तो डेथ मोर्टेलिटी इस करके हाई हो गई कि everybody was finding a solution for the virus like Tamiflu and all this flu and everything was into circulation. खूब ब्लैक मार्केटिंग हुई दवा की होती. ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ
हाँ
पता चलिया कि ये जब निमोनिया नाल ਹੁੰਦਾ है, then you require a high flow oxygen therapy which needs to be given. That is the only cure for that, and certain antibiotics. That is the reason why the mortality has become low since June onwards. Because the real cause was detected, and it is the death due to the multi-organ failure, which is primarily due to bacteria. Virus infection जो होता है कभी भी spread नहीं करता, वो slow spread करता है, like typhoid fever and all this type of fever, like dengue and everything is virus. HIV is virus. It takes years to spread and years to die. Whereas
हाँ जी.
bacteria, food poisoning, cholera, these are so deadly that the moment it is there, it become a pandemic and a lot of people die. So 90% of people die because of the bacterial infection. Now it has been known and established. Secondly, knowing that, CM Saab, Arvind Kejriwal, he has given me responsibility. He has constituted a team of those people who have got experience with healthcare and life sciences. So I was made the chief minister representative to manage COVID in Delhi. And that was a very Herculean and very prestigious task which was given to me. And ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ foremost ਸਾਡੇ challenge ਸੀਗਾ number one, to see whether adequate beds are available or not, because healthcare condition of India is really pathetic. ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਵੈਸੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੀ ਪੈਥੇਟਿਕ ਹੈ. ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਸਪੇਨ ਐਂਡ ਇਟਲੀ ਵਾਸ ਨੋਨ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਦਾ ਬੈਸਟ ਇਨ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਕੇਅਰ. ਵਾਟ ਹੈਪਨ? ਉਹ ਬੈਸਟ
Right.
ਸੀਗੇ, but they have actually manufactured and sold everything, exported outside the country, so never kept anything for themselves. And in India, we are hungry for everything. We are starved with everything. We are starved with talent. We are starved with food and everything. So we people have got one art, that we have got such a contaminated water. So we have got high level of immunity. Whereas if you any of the American, they come here, any of the European, they come here. The moment they drink Indian water, they get laryngitis or something like that, and they got severe problem. The way you have got a bad throat is the primary reason is the air and the water. ਤਾਂ
Yeah.
ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਦ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸਿਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਸਾਡਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕੰਮ ਸੀਗਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਕਿ adequate manpower ho, because manpower was the biggest problem in Delhi. And Delhi has got a
Right.
population of 2 crore, and 70% of Delhiites are actually immigrants. They are not Delhiites.
Right.
But when
Right.
you're serving the community, then your aim is to serve the community, not to see the caste, creed, religion, and everything, and who is from inside or from outside. So since March until yesterday, we have been working like a workhorse. We have been organizing everything, organizing the manpower, organizing the automation, on organizing the civil defense force to control those people who are in the queue for the this flu test and all. And there's a one hospital called Dadadev Hospital, which is a mother and child hospital. I'm the CM representative exclusively for that. Since that is a mother and child hospital, so what we have done is we have constituted a separate flu corner. That was the first hospital in Delhi to have dedicated flu corner, where we have been doing maximum number of RT-PCR tests for COVID, and a lot of appreciation for CM Saab also for that. And Rush, we have opened the first of its kind in India online, the registration policy, where you don't have to go to the hospital to get the OPD done. You can just go online and you can have everything done. तो ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी साडी सीगी. ਇਹਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਈ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਮਾਸਕ ਵਰ ਇਨ ਸ਼ਾਰਟੇਜ. एक एक रुपए ਦਾ face mask was sold at about 100 rupee, 200 rupee, and 250 rupees. So that was just
Yeah.
like a feeling, and it was very difficult for me to see that I'm in the healthcare and we are helpless. So we distributed, because that was the first line of defense for everybody. If you use the mask, then actually you are not protecting yourself from virus bacteria, but you are preventing your droplet to go out and you are preventing somebody else droplet to come into you.
Yeah.
So that is first line of defense, which has been, very well communicated by our chief minister and the honorable prime minister of the country, that please maintain the social distances and use the face mask. So this is how the COVID has death toll has been really very high, but fortunately we have increased the test. Delhi is having the highest per capita test in India now, perhaps in Asia, and that is
Right.
the reason you see that there was a trend of upward, downward, and now it has come down because we are conducting test. Whereas it is not the same story with other states. So this is the way we are
Yeah.
still fighting COVID, and it is here to stay. Believe me, Manpreet is not going to go out. It's going to stay another for 1 or 2 years now. So we have to be very careful. It has to be a virtual world now, a new normal, which we say. So that is how we have to live our life now with COVID.
Yes, it's pretty unfortunate, but yes, there is no way to deal with it other apart from maintaining the social distancing norms and other things. But so I want to know from you, uh, what do you think when the vaccine will be available and everything will be sorted out? Like, of course, we can't put a timeline to it, but still, what you are expert in this field, so if you can guide us on this thing.
Look, Manpreet, I have been known for my straightforward talks always because I don't do, manipulation. To me, you just have to understand a simple line that whenever there is any vaccine discovered for any ailment, it has to have a survey of at least 2,000 people. So two,
Okay.
and the study has to be double blind. Double blind means, you have to have study with different kind of problem. 2,000 people with normal, 2,000 people who have got COVID and are recovered, 2,000 people who have got COVID with blood pressure, 2,000 people with COVID without blood pressure, 2,000 with COVID, blood pressure, and diabetes. So you see, there are a lot of categorization into that. And you have to see, once you give the vaccine, you have to see the longevity of the person also, for how long he or she survives, and with or without side effects. So
Right.
actually, the study is for 2 months, since COVID is a very new discovery and everybody is, just getting the things from the air. Nobody has got any idea. Like there's no documentation. So you have to see for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, at least 1 year now, if not 10 years, because polio vaccine took about 30 years to come, and there's not at all a single vaccine for dengue till date. It's about 25 years dengue is there in the.
So
So
true.
so it take lot of time. Unfortunately, we don't have time here because the mortality is rising every day. US is having a mortality of say about two to 250,000 people per day. That's the infection rate, and mortality is about 10 to 15,000, which is too high. तो ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਸਟੇਨੇबिलिटी ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੈ. If you talk me as a layman language, corona vaccine has come. Yes, vaccine has come. It will it treat COVID? Yes, but the million-dollar question is that once it's going to kill the coronavirus, make sure it's not going to kill your heart, your lungs, your chest, your kidneys, and your liver. That is something which is most important because the side effect is something, contraindication is something which kills a lot of people. Pfizer drug
Yeah.
was tried day for yesterday in London to a lady. Now she has got a Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy means you got a temporary paralysis of the face. So you cannot say
Right.
that when the Pfizer drug is successful. So we are still at a very elementary stage. I think it's going to take about 1 to 2 years at least to get a real substantiate, real drug which actually works. Till that, we can have a sort of thing like a booster dose one, booster dose two, so that to see the side effect of the people, how it is working. So मैंने नहीं लगता कि any jaldi it's going to come. But yes, we can have some sort of remedy for the high immunity people. Perhaps that is the reason why central government and all these countries are planning first on the aged people, because if you are working for the aged people, then the risk is less, and although they have enjoyed their life, so they can be good for trial. And we don't have a time to trial on monkeys and chimpanzees and all. So human beings are available everywhere. So that is how it goes.
Okay. Yes, that was quite insightful. So, Tanu ki lagta hai, so you talked about the physical thing, but since you are a therapist and you know how things are, but mentally, आ चीज कितना affect कर रही है लोगों को? Because I think there are so many people who are going into depression, dying because of mental disorders and mental health issues and depression, and there are so many things aligned to it. But ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ that how people are, how you guys are helping people to recover their mental health in the
Okay,
current state.
mental health. Let us talk about mental health. For 5 or 10 minutes. But if we talk about mental health, I can talk for hours and hours because that is something which is very close to my heart. And
Right,
90% of the people are suffering for that. So I use one expression in my every lecture. Uh, if you have fever, what you do? You take a thermometer, insert it, you get to know how much fever you're getting. If you want to weigh yourself, you stand on a weighing scale. But what changes are taking in your brain? How you're going to measure it? Like
right,
what money
right,
is thinking at this point of time? What is the level of anxiety? What is the level of mental stress? What is the level of concentration? And how alert you are? There is not even a single parameter available globally to gauge these type of things.
right.
So in 2005, when I was an American employee for South Asia Pacific for mental this medical equipments, I left the job in 2005 and started as an entrepreneur into this, and I discovered a therapy called brain feedback therapy. Most of the psychiatrists, psychologists, neurologists, India and Asia, they know me fairly well because this is something with which just by connecting one electrode, electrode at a scalp, you get to know your mental condition. This is something which can never be get into X-ray, CT, or MRI, because CT scan or MRI just get to know whether you got a brain stroke, epilepsy, or a clot. But about your thoughts, which are known as a functional issues, can
Yeah,
any machine measure your emotions, how happy you are?
right.
No. My this gadget, because people are actually doing the EEG, electroencephalography. If anything get wrong with your heart, you get your ECG done. If anything get wrong with your brain, you get your electroencephalography EEG done. So I'm an expert not only in interpreting the EEG, I'm expert in treating the EEG. So 90% of the psychiatric or psychological disorders, actually disorders are normally psychological. People have just named it psychiatric. We need to understand the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist. A psychiatrist is the MBBS qualified doctor who is trained to give medicines.
Right,
Where
right.
in Hindi we call it manochikitsak.
Hmm.
The psychologist is the person who is trained in behavior medicine, which is my prerogative. They are called manovigyanik.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, yeah, the psychologists don't have a big, wallet with them, so they work normally free of cost and at a very petty rate with the psychiatrist, and all the credit go to the psychiatrist. I have been very vocal in that, so my dear psychiatrist friend knows me fairly well about it. Because at the end of the day, if we are not solving the problem, then we are a problem ourselves. We
Yeah,
need to realize where the problem lies. If you got
right,
anything wrong with your hand, the maximum thing you can do it, you can chop off your hand. If you have got anything wrong with your gallbladder, you get it removed. But if something get wrong with your thought process, you cannot chop off your head.
right.
It means it's a very serious concern, and we need some specialized people to understand about it. जो ये mental
Hmm.
health हैगी ये जी चीज हैगी ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਧਿਆਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ. I'm very sorry to say, like I have got many patients from Australia. ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਜੋ ਆਂਦੇ ਆ ਬੰਦੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆਟਿਸਟਿਕ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਪਲਾਨਿੰਗ ਫॉर अदर किड मैंने कहा but why don't you want to get him treated ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ
Right.
ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਨਿਊਜ਼ੀਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ if you are an autistic child then you get lot of money from as a compensation from the government per month.
Hmm.
So I was really very sorry. I felt very sorry for the child at that time. So many of the people like that only they. That is why in European countries they glamorize autism.
Right,
Autism is
right,
nothing to. It's a very serious disease. Means the patient doesn't know what is happening in and out, and just behind him and in front of him, and you are just taking him as a toy and just showing it to the people. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਬੜਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਨੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ either you work for money throughout your life or you work in that way money comes as a byproduct. ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਭਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ we have a small family ਕਿ let's do something for the society. So I bought this equipment from Germany. I got myself trained on Skype in 2005. At that time nobody heard about what Skype is all about. So there were hardly 1,000 people on that. So मैं पूरा train ਕੀਤਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ. I'm a very tech savvy guy that way. Then I started, treating patients, and then obviously you need to have some qualification if you are a therapist. So I went to
Right.
US, Germany, and I become a certified therapist from there. I have been trying this in India since 15 years, and you see the apathy that nobody, no government body is willing to actually certify these type of things. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਅੰਦਰ ਚਾਰ ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਜਾਣ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦੀ.
Hmm.
Whereas it has got so much of power that you can heal 90% of the psychiatric problem or the psychological disorder just by itself. ये power है साढ़े brain की. Then I found out one line word, which is brain wanted to be rewarded. Now I give you a small example. ਹੁਣ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੋ ਲੋਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, sometime when the
Hmm.
talk is interactive, if I crack some joke, you start laughing or you just feel good about it.
Right.
The other way around, ਜਿਸ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਸੰਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ
Hmm.
ਕੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਚੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹੀ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ. Why is like that? Because brain wants to be rewarded. ब्रेन कहता है जी मैंने वही रिवॉर्ड मिल रहा है, मेरे वही न्यूरोकेमिकल चल रहे हैं जो मैंने किसी ना गल करके अच्छा लग रहा है, और द पर्सन whom I don't like is been beaten or scolded by somebody, I feel the same happiness. But there is a difference. In one case, both sides are happy. In another case, only one side is happy. So
Right.
this is thing, yeah. And that is what teaching. I'm mixing couple of things, but it will lead to a conclusion that what I mean to say actually. So in worldwide की होता है ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ टीचर बनना चाहते हैं. Teacher मतलब कि it comes from a higher end to a lower end. Whereas one is telecasting, other is a receiver, right? Whereas in our life, we want to become a learner. A learning is something which is a two-way process. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ
Right.
ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, I learn a lot of things from you, you learn a lot of things from me. That is why, I have a very, very not much belief on the counseling process. Because counseling is something where a patient with a depression or with anxiety, if he goes to the doctor, और डॉक्टर बोलेगा डॉक्टर साहब मैनू जी डिप्रेशन है, मैनू किसी काम विच मन नहीं करता हैगा, कोने च बैठा रहंदा, आई कीप ऑन क्राइंग ऑल डे. डॉक्टर बोलेगा देखो ऐसा है, आप मेडिकेशन करो, आप ये करो, आप योगा करो, आप प्राणायाम करो, फिनिश. You paid the doctor the money, you go back. What happened? After that, you get to know that you are suffering from the same problem and the patient has committed suicide or something like that. Why this has happened?
Right.
This is the one line of treatment. ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੱਸਾਂ. ਸਾਡੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ we have got lot of psychiatric patients. ਪੱਥਰ
Hmm.
ਚੱਕੋ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਕੀੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੇ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ.
Right.
But why the success rate is not too high? Number one, there's a lot of stigma. ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਈਕੈਟ੍ਰਿਸਟ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ, if you go to any psychiatrist or psychologist, it means you are a pagal.
Hmm.
There's a
That's so
presumption that
unfortunate.
you're going to a psychiatrist. ठीक है.
Right.
Now, this some of the film star, they made it more glamorized. वो कहते हैं जी मेरे को डिप्रेशन था, मेरे को डिप्रेशन था, वो चले गए, तो they are making it much familiar, easy.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
some of my doctor they say, Dr. Singh, in India, how many sessions you give, to treat depression? I say I give about 40 settings. Say 40, we give 200 things. How come you treat in 40 settings? I say there's a difference. कहता what? मैंने कहा you try to understand the social structure of India. In USA, if there is a patient, he go to a psychiatrist to book an appointment, he goes alone. Most of the time he's alone. The only
Yeah.
time he's with the specialist for 1 hour is when he's in front of a doctor. Again he come back and alone. So the success rate, failure rate is too high, success rate is too low. India which कहता जी कोई मम्मी मेरे को डिप्रेशन लग रहा है, चाचा मामा बुआ ताए सारे लग गए जी, कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है यार, तेरे को कुछ नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, डॉक्टर के पास,
Right.
अरे डॉक्टर के पास ले आने की. So the only
Right.
time the patient feel alone is when he is with the doctor. The moment he has come back, he say, "Oh, I'm feeling very good. I'm again the family." So the social
Hmm.
structure is too high. We have got such a good supporting structure कि साढ़े 90% बीमारियां इस तरह ठीक हो जाती है. But yes, for serious ailment like the bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or for autism, you need to have some medical intervention for which we have got this brain feedback therapy. दूसरा एक बहुत अच्छा एग्जांपल हैगा कि मैं एक अंग्रेज ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਲਾਸ ਵੇਗਾਸ ਸਾਡੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਸੀਗੀ ਯੂਐਸ ਵਿੱਚ 2008 ਵਿੱਚ. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ no, my son is 21-year-old. The doctor suggests me, and I say, what's the problem? He says 21 years so old and still staying with me. मैं क्या यार? मैं क्या, तो
What
what's the
was
problem?
that he was?
21 years old and still staying with me. Because as per
Okay, still.
American 18, you need to
Yeah,
go out of
right.
the house.
Yeah,
मैं क्या,
yeah,
इंडिया ਵਿੱਚ मैं क्या मावा ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਬੇਟਾ 21 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਏਗਾ.
yeah. Right.
So you see the perspective of global is entirely different. The thought process is different. So that's why the
True.
healing, the psychiatric element in India is very high. ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਰ ਲਗਾ ਕੇ ਜਦ ਮੈਂ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਦੱਸ ਸਕਦਾ what is your level of concentration, your sleep, your situational anxiety, your performance anxiety and your stress. I don't know that. You play a video game. So how do you control a video game? Joystick, mouse or keyboard? No.
Right.
In my case, you do not have any joysticks, no keyboard, no mouse. So how you're going to control a car which is running? How you're going to get, trap the fishes from the river? You think and this will happen. The moment you use your hand, the car will crash. That is called brain feedback therapy because here the brain works actually. Since the brain want to be rewarded, so we the condition in the brain waves. ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ brain wave ਨੂੰ condition ਕਰਦੇ हैं कि अगर मनप्रीत ने कुछ भी सोचा गड्डी के अलावा the car will crash. If any thoughts
Hmm.
come in your mind directly the car will crash. It means we realigned your brain wave. We correct your EEG distortions. And when the EEG is okay, the brain is perfectly okay. That's why it's called the brain feedback. You get the mirror image of your brain, how your brain is behaving. And once you know, hun मैं बोलूंगा मनप्रीत तुसी इस तरह कर रहे हो गलत कर रहे हो. On my face you may agree to me. बाद ही बोलोगे I don't agree with Dr. Singh, he's just saying like that. लेकिन अगर तुहानू खुद
Hmm.
पता है तुसी की गलती कर रहे हो,
हाँ
your
जी.
insight will take all the corrective measures to correct it. So that is called the brain feedback. It shows your brain how your brain is behaving in front of you. If you are doing something wrong, the car will go off. So what your brain will say, Manpreet, concentrate, then only the car will come on the track. The moment you concentrate, the car will come on the track and you get scores. So it's a small phenomena of psychology which is called operant conditioning. That treatment is based on that. Thousands of patients worldwide have been treated. If you Google brain feedback therapy, you get a lot of information on the Google also. That is what we are doing for the psychiatry. We do a OPD procedure. We don't admit any patients. Apart from that, in 2009, we introduced a therapy called biowave therapy, which is actually for the de-addiction. I am one of the few in Asia who de-addict a person with a history of 30 years of alcohol, gutka, pan, smoking, or cocaine for that matter. And we treat a person just 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes. And that too without any medicines. None of my treatment involved any medical intervention, no surgical intervention, no meditation, no yoga, nothing. So that is what we have been thinking. I'm a pure, follower of science. So we use the phrase physics precedes chemistry. Chemistry means chemicals, which is medicine. So I
Hmm.
am a follower of physics. So physics has got so much advantages. We work on extremely low frequency and we treat the things. Uh, Unfortunately, because of COVID, we have slowed down our operations since March. So we next month we are going to open our clinic in a full fledged. We have got franchises across the country in some of the big cities where daily lot of people have been benefited with the most of the psychiatric and psychological ailment. So that is our social endeavor that we should open in a small places. Suppose like Ludhiana, then people don't have to come to Delhi for treatment. So
Right,
there's
right.
their money, energy, and everything, and they get the treatment at it's a backward integration. That is what
Hmm.
I want. We are looking for like-minded people, who can engage with us with the social cause. And believe me, there's something where you don't have to work for money because money comes as a byproduct. So that is what I have been doing in this mental health. So that's the short thing about mental health.
But I'm really amazed. You said ek contagion you guys can help and eliminate gutka, pan, tobacco. So, but enna consumption hai saadi country which there are people who can't get rid of it. So why we are not coming up with like things more like this and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ socially ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ socially ਵੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ help ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ wherein you are not charging from people because there are so many people ਜੋ who can't contact you who don't know such things exist in the market. So how you guys are helping them?
So that's a
This
million-dollar
one
question.
power is something that has really amazed me after listening. I'm like, okay, is there something like that which exists? But if you are saying, I'm super sure it does. So, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਦੱਸੋ, because I'm really intrigued and want to know more about it.
Okay. Basically जब मैं equipment लेके आया थी थोड़ी इतना दी स्टडी था मैं because you know I've been struggling throughout because when you go against the system or you introduce something new you'll find a lot
Yeah,
of people who are opposing you. Being a psychologist I use this phrase and implement phrase in my life very well. uh, the problem with Indians, especially Indians, are we are resistant to change. We are very much resistant to
right.
change. साडे वास्ते जो चीज साडी नहीं है वो कूड़ा है.
Hanj.
Over purchasing is dependent upon not on us, it is dependent on our friend. मैं गुजराती सीगा, मैं क्या यार चल यार चलते हैं अपन खा के आते हैं बर्गर. खान
Hmm.
के राती बर्गर और हाथ विच हैव मोर दी आइसक्रीम लेके आ गए. So
Right.
that is the loyalty, that's the preferences. So the preferences of Indians are very dynamic. You never know what they're going to do the next moment. तो
Right.
जद ਅਸੀਂ शुरू ਕੀਤਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਕਿ every second guy is suffering from alcohol. ਹੁਣ ਦੇਖੋ ਲॉकडाउन ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕੀ ਖੁੱਲਿਆ दारू ਦੇ ਠੇਕੇ.
Right.
तो रेवेन्यू है. दूसरा पीपल वर फ्रस्ट्रेटेड और ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਹੋਗੀ कि हमें लाइन खड़ा होना पड़ा दारू के लिए. You see the mindset of the people, ਹੁਣ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ. People say that doctor you charge this much of money for what you charge. I say I am going to dedict you in 1 hour with a different applicator which we put on the neck and a lot of places. I actually work on the root cause of the problem rather than symptoms. It's a wonderful German technology called BioWave. And ਉਹ
Okay.
ਕੀ ਹੈ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ. Within 2 minutes I can scan you and tell you what you are suffering from. Not only alcohol, for any deadly disease like cancer, thyroid, kidney malfunctions and all this type of things. क्योंकि ये सारा एमआरआई के ऊपर बेस्ड है. इट्स मिनिएचर एमआरआई.
Hmm.
लेकिन ये है कि ये पॉपुलर क्यों नहीं हुई. ये पॉपुलर मेरे जितने भी कस्टमर मेरे जितने भी क्लाइंट्स हैव नेवर कॉल देम पेशेंट्स बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू लेबल एज अ पेशेंट. तो जितने
Okay.
ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਲਾਇੰਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਭਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. We look at the root cause of the problem and believe me it just take 1.5 hour. After 1 hour we say you want to have a cigarette, he say I don't feel any taste in it because the nicotine actually they accumulate into the spleen. So we treat the spleen. The system work on the frequency medicine. It bring the frequency of the everything has got a frequency. Mobile has got a frequency. We are communicating. We got a frequency. Similarly, every tissue has got a frequency. We don't work on the organ. We work on the tissues. ਸੋ
Right.
ਟਿਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਫ੍ਰੀਕੁਐਂਸੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਹੈਂਪਰਡ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਐਡਿਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਐਬਨੋਰਮਲ ਗਰੋਥ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ. That is why
Hmm.
there is always craving, always a willingness, always withdrawal symptoms for these type of addictions. So what happens, the system just brings it there. It brings the frequency back to the normal. So once you take the alcohol or nicotine after 1 hour, since your system has become normal, फिर ਉਹਨੂੰ
Right.
लगता है कि कोई foreign body आ गई है. वो कहता है I don't feel like I don't enjoy any taste in that. So that is something which give us that the patient has got a willingness. अगर willingness किसी ਚ हैगी ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਠੀਕ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ हैं. So this is how we do, and it's a 7-step treatment. Means first step is de-addiction. Second step we treat the tremors, so the ਹੱਥ ਕੰਬਦੇ ਆ patients ਦੇ. Third is withdrawal symptoms ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, craving ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਲੱਤਾਂ ਚ pain ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. Fourth session we increase the hunger because of these alcohol and these additive substances. The hunger subsides. So it's a very professional treatment which goes in a wonderful way, and it completely lead to a transformation of the human being life. And we have been doing it of most of the Bollywood guys, netas and abhinetas. And I tell you the secret how I came into social life because most of the netas were treated by me actually. So that
Wow.
is how in 2008-9 I become very popular. A lot of the jails in India where I have done my campaign, and we do a lot of free of cost charity work. I never name like free of cost, the charity work and community work we do.
Hmm.
Like in area where I live in Harinagar in Delhi, we got a Mayapuri is a Juggi Jhopdi. So I make sure that I celebrate my birthday every year into the Juggi Jhopdi along with the guys there, children's there. It's for last 10 years now. And there are a lot of ran baseras which are made by government. So in ran basera we organize a free camps, with which we treat the people with substance abuse, drug abuse, and all this type of problems. So that is our social endeavor. So every year about 800 people are being de-addicted and treated by us. So that is
Wow.
a
That's
uprala main mere bachchan ne litta hai, so we have been doing it.
I'm really glad that you're doing something like this because a problem root cause ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਖਤਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ then there is nothing to worry about. ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ question ਹੈ ਮੇਰਾ with regard to this. So you treat it and person is willing to eliminate it from his life or her life. Then ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆ ਵਾਪਸ ਵੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ after a while, after some years or whatever. ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ if it's done then it's done.
I tell you, this is again a very good questions, and looks like you have done a lot of research, about the subject. So, withdrawal symptom is something which is the root cause of, relapse. Withdrawal क्यों होते हैं? When you are working in psychology or psychiatry, the biggest problem is the high level of anxiety.
Yeah.
ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਹਮ 6 month we give a warranty for 6 months. If anything get replaced or relapse, we treat it free of cost. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਬਸ ਇਹ ਨਾ ਕਰੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੀਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਅਗਰ ਜਿੱਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੀਣੀ ਹੈ then I am helpless, I cannot do anything about it.
Right.
But not be any withdrawal symptom, that is what I can tell, and this has been proved by a lot of my clients, even from Shillong to Korea to Chicago to Canada to Australia, you name, even Bulgaria, Sofia. These people from these country come to me, and I have not even invested 1 rupee on advertisement so far last 15 years, not even 1 rupee. It is just by word of mouth. Firstly the Indians started coming, फिर Indians ने होते लोकल ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ, फिर मैं बिना दसे ही मतलब इंडिया जो मेडिकल टूरिज्म बना देता है कि they come in the, especially June is the season when they have a break and Christmas is the season when they come here. So this is the
Yeah.
best season for them. Unfortunately because of corona this time it's not happening, but otherwise this is a damn busy season for me. और ਇਹਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ 1/10 ਕਾਸਟ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਕਵਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ. These things are not covered in insurance. Since these are
Yeah.
very famous technology in US, most of the Hollywood, actor actresses they use these therapies, and I've been a trainer to these people also. India which problem ki hai, you have to prove a lot actually that what you are and not, and sometimes throughout your life you're not able to prove yourself. ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪੈਦਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੋਇਆ, ਬਟ ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਵੈਰੀ ਮਚ ਪਪੂਲਰ ਅਬਰੋਡ. ਕੋਰੋਨਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਰਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਬਾਤ ਹੀ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ, ਸਿੰਗਾਪੁਰ ਦੇ, ਕੋਰੀਅਨ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ, ਹਾਂਗਕਾਂਗ, they have listened to me first. ਉਹ ਮਾਰਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਮੈਂ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, and they take my name also when they do it. So that's
Wow.
a bit that part, I feel that ਸਾਡੇ ਇੱਥੇ awareness ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, but unfortunately you cannot choose your leaders. That's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. The problem is awareness also because people don't know it that something like this exists, and that is the core issue. पता ही नहीं होएगा तो इलाज कितना होएगा वो वाली गल है.
बिल्कुल. तो मेंटल एरा जो हैगा ना, ये इस समय ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ that is our endeavor to fix it now, and there are means and ways to fix it. और ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਟੈਕਨੋਲੋਜੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, believe me that for a serious bipolar disorder ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੀਨੀਆ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅਵਸਾਦ ਉਦਾਸ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ patient, slow and high, we have 100% treatment, that too without medicine, just 20 sittings you have to come and you get a new lease of life. And my treatment, again I use that byline that it is not seeing is believing, it is feeling is believing. If you feel it, you believe it, because in
Right.
psychiatry there's nothing like seeing is believing. So that is what I have been doing in psychiatry, and apart from that we keep on motivating a lot of people, because there is something which is a fuel, which should keep on running. Motivation is something which is required.
Right. I was coming to that only that you speak about these issues globally. So how do you manage so many things all together? There are so many feathers on your hat. ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਾਰਾ manage ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? Because I'm sure you are a true multitasker, and I can sense that. So is my audience. But फिर भी there are so many hats. So how do you manage it?
देखो एक तो yes, there may be many of the other feather also, but they are just concealed in my pagdi, so you cannot see that. So yet I've got my antennas erected. They are always, they're not visible, but they are inside. So ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ I have been blessed by the God, I tell you. Guru Nanak Dev Ji ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. I was born in ਗੁਰੂ ਕੀ ਨਗਰੀ ਮਾਛੀਵਾੜਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮਿੱਤਰ ਪਿਆਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਾਲ ਮੁਰੀਦਾ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਉਚਾਰਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਤੋ
Hmm.
ਉਧਰੋਂ ਹੀ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਬੀਨ ਵਾਰੀਅਰ ਥਰੂ ਆਊਟ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋਕ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਬਾਹਰ ਦੀ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ, ਸਿੰਘ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਡੂ ਦਿਸ ਥਿੰਗ ਯੂ ਵਿਲ ਫੇਲ। ਆਈ ਸੇ ਆਈ ਐਮ ਨਾਟ ਅ ਸਿੰਘ, ਆਈ ਐਮ ਅ ਸਪ੍ਰਿੰਗ। The more you press me with more power, I'm going to come back. So
Wow.
it was my first punchline, in US. So my boss say कि भाई तू कुछ भी कर सकता है। तो मैंने कहा देखो ऐसा है, you require only three things to success in your life. Number one is a desire. It is applicable to everybody, and it could be a source of inspiration to guys who are listening to me, especially the young Sikhs. Uh, Desire is something, मेरा मन है मैं PM बनूं, मेरा मन है मैं CM बनूं, मेरा मन है मैं साइंटिस्ट बनूं. How many people have this type of desire? 100%.
Hmm.
Then you come to the second level, which is known as the ability. Ability is the mental ability. It means you simply filter 75% people, because everybody has a desire, but they don't have that mental ability to 20% remain. Then for 25%, you got the capability. Capability could be the financial capability.
Hmm.
That is something which is again important. They are left only 1% now, or 5%. And out of the 5% you have to get, तो 5% सिर्फ वो लोग कम कर सकते हैं जिन्हें को लाइफ का सबसे बड़ा ingredient है, that is willingness. इच्छा शक्ति. इच्छा शक्ति, willingness is something which actually succeed and which is a way of success to you in life if you want to do anything. 90% लोग जो हैगे ना वो ऐसे तक पहुंचते ही नहीं है, क्योंकि ऐसे वास्ते you have to sacrifice a lot. You have to sacrifice your dream. You have to sacrifice your positions and all. I was enjoying
True.
such a good corporate position at a South Asia Pacific head, and I become at the age of how much? 28. So it was about good about 25, 26 years before. तो उस समय जो स्टेटस मैं एंजॉय करता थी, nobody could have thought about it कि भाई ऐसे
So
कैसे
true.
होगा. And then I am into business not by choice but by force. क्योंकि उसके बाद मैं नौकरी बन गया तो किसने पैसा देता है नहीं. वो कहते जी जितनी आप लेते हो तनख्वाह इतनी हम साल की देंगे, लेनी है आपको. तो मैंने कहा नहीं जी, आई विल डू समथिंग ऑफ माय ओन. देन मी एंड माय वाइफ डिसाइडेड, शी इज द ट्रू मेंटर ऑफ मी, and then we started doing it, and by the grace of God they're never looking back, because I am entirely a different type of person. मैं हमेशा ये बोलता सी कि भाई मेरे बारे में जो लोग कहते हैं, the salesmanship starts when the customer say no.
Right.
I only selling when the somebody say I don't need it. और दूसरा, if you have got that metal in you, ये सब ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ कुछ initially सुनने वालों fabricated लगता है, but those people who are with me from last 25 years, they know me fairly well, that it is walk the talk, whatever Kanwarbir Singh does. और मैं टास्क वही लेंदा जो लोग नहीं कर सकते. जो कर सकते हो everybody can do it. So what's the fun, what's the new thing in that? तो इसी करके मैं करता है वो चीजें लेंदा जो कोई नहीं कर सकता. छोटी सी स्टोरी है. जब मैं प्रिंस कर रहा हूं, एक बार एक जंगल का राजा सी शेर. लॉयन वाज द किंग ऑफ जंगल. तो खरगोश कहता है यार लॉयन किंग ऑफ जंगल क्यों अपनी खरगोशनी से? तो कहते वो इसलिए है बिकॉज ही रोर्स, क्योंकि वो दहाड़ता है. वाइफ भी तो खरगोश है, हाँ तो करना ही था. कहते बात ठीक है. कहते तो मैं भी दहाड़ूंगा, मैं भी दहाड़ूंगा तो मैं भी शेर, मैं भी राजा बन जाऊंगा. कहते चलो शुरू करते हैं. और वो थे गया तो ही जस्ट सिलेक्टेड एवरीथिंग एज पर हिज साइज. रिस्क टेकिंग एबिलिटी होती है ना. उसने छिपकली, चूहा, गिलहरी, कीड़े मकोड़े, मक्खी मच्छर सबको जाके बोला आई एम योर किंग नाउ, आई एम द किंग बिकॉज आई कैन रोर. वो डर गए. उन्होंने कभी सोचा नहीं कि ऐसे खरगोश करेगा. तो ऐसे खरगोश रोज रोज अपनी क्लास में लग गया. एक दिन खरगोश ने ज्यादा तेज किया तो वहां से भेड़िया जा रहा था, उसको भूख लगी, वो मार के खा गया खरगोश को. खरगोश खत्म. तो उसकी वाइफ कहती ये कैसे हो गया? तो जंगल का राजा था. जंगल का राजा है तो वो क्यों है शेर? वो था इसलिए. कहते नहीं, शेर जंगल का राजा इसलिए नहीं है कि वो दहाड़ता है. किंग ऑफ द जंगल, लॉयन इज नॉट द किंग ऑफ जंगल बिकॉज ही रोर्स. लॉयन इज द किंग ऑफ जंगल, दैट्स व्हाई ही रोर्स. वो जंगल का राजा है इसलिए दहाड़ता है. ये पर्सन लोगों ने अपने वास्ते मिसकंसेप्शन और मिसपरसेप्शन हैगा. वो कहते मैं तेज बोल दूंगा तो मैं राजा बन जाऊंगा. राजा कभी नहीं बनते, राजा अंदर से बन के निकलते हैं सारे. एंड डिपेंड अपॉन व्हाट टाइप ऑफ वे यू शो टू द पीपल टू बिकम अ लीडर. सन लोगों ने सिख सारे लीडर रह गए. मैं क्या सिखा लीडर दी कोई कमी नहीं है, सिखा ਨੂੰ लीडर नहीं चाहिए हैगा. कहंदा सिखा ਨੂੰ कौन चाहिए है? मैं कहा सिखा ਨੂੰ डायरेक्टर चाहिए हैगा. You need a right kind of director who can direct them in the right direction.
Right.
We Sikhs got so much of energy, so much of power. Wherever we go, people listen to us. People really feel good about it. कि मैं यार एक सीख दे कोल बैठा, I feel proud about it. Every film star, कोई ABC हो, सब पगड़ी जने पा लेती, वो पिक्चर सुपर हिट हो गई. So what's the logic behind it? Sikh are open-hearted. You never
Yeah.
see a Sikh beggar. मैं कहानी दसा एक और छोटी. मैं गुजराती सीखा करीब 15 साल गांधीनगर.
Hmm.
मेरा गुजराती फ्रेंड सी, मैंने बोलिया यार आज चल तेरे पास इतने पैसे हैं, बिल्कुल सिंपल ड्रेस होते हैं वो लोग, दे आर नॉट वेरी मच दिस, करोड़पति होते हैं. एंड
Hmm.
उन्हें दिमाग में चीज़ होंदे पैदा होंदे, उन्हें शिकायत है ਜਾਂਦਾ शेयर मार्केट.
Hmm.
तो गुजराती कहंदा कि भाई, मैं क्या चल यार अपन चाय पीते हैं. कहता हमारा पास चाय पीवानो पैसों नहीं. मैं क्या तू इतना
Okay.
बड़ा बोलता तेरे पास चाय पिलाने के पैसे नहीं है. मैं क्या सरदार की जेब में 100 रुपए, हम कहते चल दुनिया खरीदने जा रहे हैं. So that is the difference between the perception, how we behave. So to become a motivator, you don't need to, have those of the punchline and all. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ aura
Right.
होना चाहिए. अगर आज ਆਪਾਂ
बिल्कुल.
40 मिनट तो गल कर रहे हैं, it is because we share the positive level of energy. It's not like just an interview is going on. Because being a psychologist, my idea is not to see on your face. My idea is to see what is going in your subconscious mind behind your head. That is how I read it. कुछ लोगों में से मेरा ये टेकर है, दोज पीपल हु आर इनटू द फील्ड ऑफ मार्केटिंग एंड ऑल. लोग कहते हैं जी मैंने बहुत बड़ा सेल्समैन हूं, मैंने इसको ये बेच दिया. कई लोग लेक्चर भी देते हैं. मैंने कहा
Right.
जी उसको चाहिए था तो आपने बेच दिया, तो व्हाट्स द फन. वो आपसे नहीं तो किसी और से ले लेता. द फन इज दैट व्हेन द कस्टमर से आई डोंट नीड इट एंड यू सेल इट.
Right.
It means you have a art to generate the demand. That is something the real salesmanship is. और दूसरी बात क्या होती है, कोई भी दुनिया में सेल्समैनशिप जो होती है या कोई भी इंटरेक्टिव टॉक होती है, इंडिया पाकिस्तान, इंडिया चाइना, इंडिया यूएस, वो एजेंडा तो नहीं होती. वो सिर्फ होती
Hmm.
है कि आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द बॉटम लाइन ऑफ द पर्सन सिटिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, व्हाट ही इज थिंकिंग. द मोमेंट दैट बॉटम लाइन मैचेस, द डील स्ट्रक्स. That is the reason why Mr. Modi goes everywhere and get the thing done. Why? क्योंकि उन्हें पता है बॉटम लाइन की है. He is a Gujarati, he knows business.
Hmm. Hmm.
उन्हें हमारा ना फायदा नहीं होगा. पिछली गवर्नमेंट का कहीं डील नहीं हुई, यानी कर ली थी क्यों? Because it is about the bottom line. What is the thought process of a person? If you are able to get the thought process of a person, you are there and you are through. So these are the lessons. Perhaps it may be new to you also, but this is how I have become myself. I always try to adopt that part which is a bit difficult. Number one, you eliminate competitors. हर एक दी हिम्मत नहीं है मुश्किल पात लेने दा. I always go
बिल्कुल.
for innovation वास्ते इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए है, thought process चाहिए है. ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਕੀ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ. If you have the ability to see what is behind the wall, then only you can success in your life. This is how the things goes in life, and I'm a very admirer and follower of these type of things. आज पूरे वर्ल्ड ਵਿੱਚ सेप्टिसीमिया ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ, ਹਾਰਟ ਫੇਲਿयर ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਲੈਕਚਰਸ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹੈ. And I'm not MBBS cardiologist, but I teach the doctors. ਡਾਕਟਰਸ
Wow.
ਜੋ ਮੈਡੀਸਿਨ ਸਿਖਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਇੰਪਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈਗਾ. So I'm an expert in heart failure management. I'm an expert in I'm a speaker on septicemia, which is the major cause of mortality across the globe, जो multi organ failure बोलते हो. I am an expert on lifestyle disorder. ये सारे एक्सपर्ट हुए इस करके अपने अपने एक्सपर्ट बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि मेरी ही बनाई हुई फील्ड है ये. ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੂੰ ਐਨਕਰੇਜ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਐਫਰਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ. ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ we need volunteer like that who really want to explore into this type of field. Because as a career wise, if you do something in mental health, I tell you, sky is the opportunity. In global world, 0% has been done. 0% has been done in field of mental health other than medicines. Because medicines make you sleep. मजा आता है, देखो सुत्ते और मुर्दे कोई फर्क नहीं है. मजा आता है जो
Hmm.
मरीज बोले मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है, वो बोले मुझे उठ के फिर खराब लग रहा है. It means the medicines have failed.
Right.
So it is your self determination and human power. मेरा काम किया EG ठीक करना. जितने EG थोड़ी ठीक हो गई तो सब कुछ ठीक हो गए. ECG ठीक हो गई, हार्ट ठीक हो गया, EG ठीक हो गई, ब्रेन ठीक हो गया. So this is what I do. I always try to hit the bullseye rather than just pushing around the bush.
So, It's good. I was talking about science and innovations, and I can see that you are not only science guru but a marketing expert. You generate the need. So, since we were talking about heart attacks and things like that, so there is a question. I hope you can see from Balram Sharma. Sir, can you tell us why there is increase in heart attacks? अगर
Okay,
सारी audience को ਤੁਸੀਂ थोड़ा ਜਿਹਾ
बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है बलराम जी। हार्ट अटैक के देखो रीजन है, पहला तो इस चीज समझ लो व्हाट इज द देयर थ्री थिंग्स। नंबर वन इज हार्ट अटैक, नंबर टू इज हार्ट फेलियर, नंबर थ्री इज कार्डियक अरेस्ट। हार्ट अटैक इज अ लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर। आप हाई ट्रांस फैट खाओगे, सैचुरेटेड फैट खाओगे और एक्सरसाइज कम करोगे, बीएमआर बढ़ जाएगा, यू बिकम ओबीज। सो दीज आर समथिंग व्हिच इज अ लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर दैट एक्चुअली मेक यू अ पेशेंट वल्नरेबल टू हार्ट अटैक। इसमें क्या होता है, जो आर्टरीज है, बिकॉज बलराम शर्मा है सो आई विल स्पीक इन हिंदी ऑल्सो। इसमें क्या
हाँ
होता है बलराम, जो आपकी आर्टरीज होती है इसके अंदर फैट जम जाते हैं, इसको आर्टेरियोस्क्लेरोसिस हो जाता है, जिस करके उसमें से ब्लड फ्लो नहीं करता है। ब्लड का काम होता है ऑक्सीजन को कैरी करना। जब वो ऑक्सीजन को कैरी नहीं करता है और उसमें क्लॉट आ जाते हैं तो प्रेशर से आके उस पाइप को फाड़ देता है, तो हार्ट अटैक होता है। इससे बचने के लिए आपकी सबसे पहले ईसीजी की जाती है, फिर एंजियोग्राफी की जाती है। एंजियोग्राफी में वो देखते हैं कि अगर आपकी बिल्कुल स्ट्रीमलाइन आर्टरीज क्लियर है तो फिर उसको बलूनिंग से थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम में ठीक कर देते हैं, नहीं तो उसमें स्टेंट डालते हैं। स्टेंट डालने एंजियोप्लास्टी बोलते हैं। सो 90% हार्ट अटैक इज नॉट कोजेनाइटल, ये बाय बर्थ नहीं होता है। हार्ट अटैक इज अ लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर which is man-made, created, and can be reversed also if detected on time. Number one. Number two, हार्ट फेलियर। हार्ट फेलियर जो होता है वो हार्ट की मसल्स की प्रॉब्लम है। भगवान ने जो हमें एक टुल्लू पंप दिया है, लंग्स दो दिए हैं, किडनी दो दिए हैं, इसलिए दिए हैं बिकॉज यू नो वो दो दो चाहिए पूरी जिंदगी के लोड लेने के लिए। लेकिन जो एक एक चीज दी है जिससे आप पूरी जिंदगी चला सकते हो वो है एक दिमाग और एक दिल, बाकी सब दो दो है। सो दे आर सो रगेड मेड मशीन्स, मसल्स की पंप है। वो टुल्लू पंप में जब प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है तो मसल वीक हो जाती है, मसल वीक करके उसमें से प्रोटीन निकलता है जिस करके हार्ट फेल होता है। तो हार्ट फेलियर जो होता है वो उससे होता है। हार्ट फेलियर, मसल फेलियर, हार्ट अटैक, लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर, कार्डियक अरेस्ट इज अ वेरी सीरियस थिंग व्हिच इज अ इलेक्ट्रिकल डिसफंक्शन। हमारे यहाँ करंट जाता है, जैसे करंट में प्रॉब्लम होती है आप देखते हो बंदा बैठे बैठे कार्डियक अरेस्ट खत्म हो गया, तो वी गिव हिम करंट, जिसको हम सीपीआर बोलते हैं, कार्डियो पल्मोनरी रेसिस्टेशन, उसको हम डिफिब्रिलेशन करते हैं बिकॉज आर्टरीज में जो है फिब्रिलेशन होती है हार्ट में। सो दीज आर थ्री टाइप ऑफ डिसऑर्डर। आपका जो क्वेश्चन है वो हार्ट अटैक, इट इज अ लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर। सैर करिए, डाइट खाइए अच्छी, वाइटामिन लीजिए, ग्रीन सैलेड लीजिए, रेड मीट कम खाओ, व्हाइट मीट खा लो, दैट इज परफेक्टली फॉर एनी हार्ट अटैक पेशेंट्स।
Thank you so much. I hope, Balramji, your question is well answered. If you have anything else, you can add in the comment section. There is another question. Any prevention control for COVID apart from the tips that we follow?
कोविड के लिए सब तो ज्यादा जो मैनू प्रॉब्लम बनती है हुन ਆਪਾਂ ने देखो वी हैव स्टार्टेड द डिस्टेंसिंग, वी अप्लाई द मास्क एंड एवरीथिंग, बट हेयर आर वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट पॉजिटिव एजेंट्स बिकॉज जितने भी फोवाइड्स है, जितने भी वायरस है, दे एक्यूमुलेट ऑन द हेयर। और उसके बाद आपके हेयर से वो आईज में आते हैं, सब जगह आते हैं। आईज आर वेरी वल्नरेबल बिकॉज आईज जनरेट सेलाइंस, और सेलाइन में वायरस बहुत अच्छा ट्रेवल करता है। दैट इज द रीजन इट इज ऑलवेज एडवाइज कि आप देखोगे जो पीपी किट पहनते हैं वो साथ में आपके गॉगल्स भी पहनते हैं,
Hmm.
because we take care of our eyes and our hair, we should cover it, and whenever you come from outside just make sure you take a full bath of your body so that कि ये जितने भी आपके हैं इसको साफ कर दें। बाकी sanitation, social distancing and these type of things are very well there, you can easily take care। हाँ, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट वी हैव मेड अ रिसेंट डिस्कवरी, जो हमने एक बनाई है मशीन, जिसको मोदी साहब ने बोला था आपदा में अफसर। हमने कहा मेक इन इंडिया में वी डू समथिंग, एंड वी हैव मेड अ क्योर एयर प्रोडक्ट which is different from the air purifier. Air purifier just purified the airs and all this ppm and all. My system is something which sucks in all the infection from the closed room and
Hmm.
sucks in bacteria, virus, and fungus and kill it with the help of UV light and pass out the sterile air. So this is a unique discovery, and a lot of government institution, private, they have shown interest, and we have been installing that most of the houses where the COVID centers are there, then saloons and everywhere this is being installed. So and we have made it very subsidized for the common people so that this is not for making money. You are saying कि social initiative ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ हैं, ये साड़ा
हाँ
क्योर
जी.
एयर है airflow germicidal unit is just a part of social initiative. We don't want to make a single money out of it. And whatsoever money come out of this project, believe me, we are going to donate it to needy people, or we are going to enhance our psychiatry network with that money.
That's wonderful to hear.
This is what we have been doing. That is our endeavor for the society. तो कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते हैं, and we get lot of feedback from the people what type of help they want to have. So we try to be innovative in all those aspects as well.
I hope your question is answered, Ujagar Singh Marwaji. So, hello, my video is stuck.
Your video is stuck. I can hear you, brother.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Okay.
Achha. So before we go, my last question is: you do so many things all together, but how do you keep yourself motivated? Because enna sab kari dusriyan nu motivate karan liye, you need to have that motivation and that driving force. So how do you manage to have that driving force in you?
I tell you, this is the same thing. A lot of people ask me. मैंने 25 साल हो गया है इस बिजनेस और सोशल लाइफ ਵਿੱਚ. बिलीव मी, अगर मैं 3 दिन बाहर जाके कितने यूरोप या यूएसए जाके हॉलीडे करा ना, तो मैंने इस तरह लगता है कि आई नो व्हाट टू डू, और समटाइम्स आई फील लाइक मैं कुछ करता ही नहीं हूं. So this is something, it keep me like you have, but I would urge in me that I want to do something for the society. And believe me, I always wanted to become 40 years, because before 40 years, even my customers, my people were not taking me seriously. But after 40, I realized that people start taking me seriously, and they know that what I want to do and how I do it. And so far, so good. I'm a person who cannot sit idle. I've got a lot of ideas, and this part of my life, the second part of my life, when my kids are settling now, me and my wife have made an endeavor that we want to do something for the society very seriously. We are going to open up some of the good psychiatry centers, good wellness centers, and we need volunteers like you people who can really can work for it, because this is something which is actually going to take us along. मेंटल हेल्थ के ऊपर कोई काम नहीं किया गया है. उन्हें से कैंडिवर लेके आ रहे हैं, सिंस मेरी डॉटर है वो बीडीएस कर रही है, तो ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ mental और dental ਦਾ collaboration करिए. We want to collaborate the mental health with the dental health, because that is something which is the need of the hour. And 90% of people with good and all, they got a problem in their teeth, and they need the teeth scaling, so that can help them. And second thing, the mental health, which is the cause of most of the mortality, the suicides, and this type of problems, this can be taken care of. ਇਹਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਖੋਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਂ I have been trained from Germany from last 2 years. कोरोना का थोड़ा डिले हो गया सी. We are opening up a state of art of neuro rehabilitation. And neuro rehabilitation, that too for the upper limb, not for the lower limb. Lower limb was ये है कि तुसी you can carry the patient on the wheelchair, but for the upper limb, what you can do is, you have to do 90% of the work with the upper limbs. You need to eat, you need to tie your clothes and everything. So we are coming with the artificial intelligence sort of thing, with which we are going to work, and we are going to correct any of the EMG disbalances or EMG dysfunctions into the body, and we are going to treat all this problem with the help of that therapy. We are going to do that therapy very soon, probably another 1 month or so. We are just looking for the right kind of people, right kind of place, and the like-minded people with whom we can do this type of thing. So that is what we wanted to do at this point of time. And ideas are big, and it's like that, एक step लेके चलते रहो तो बंदे मिलते रहते हैं, and then this is how you go. This is how you go. Is the voice okay? Can you hear me? So this is a hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. I think there's some voice issue. Let us just wait for a second. Is it okay now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Is it okay now? Is it okay? We're trying for that. Yeah, yeah,
Hello.
yeah. Can you
Yes,
hear me now?
there is some problem with my this thing. I don't know. Some technical glitch happened, so I've just logged in from my phone. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened.
No, no, it
Unlike
happens.
Chihunda, yeah, sometime. So I'm really sorry to the audience also. Some technical glitch happened. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Looks like that audience has got a palatable diet today. कोशिश तो अपनी तरफों ਕੀਤਾ कि कुछ नवी चीज मिले ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਬਾਕੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਸੰਦੇਸ਼ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਸ ਹੈਗੇ since the show is for in the name of famous Sikhs we should do something so that we can get them on the same platform and किसी भी तरह ਦੀ कंसल्टेशन अगर मेरे को चाहिए है absolutely free of cost from my side in case
Yes,
am I
yes, loud
audible?
and clear.
Okay, so in case anything is required, any type of assistance is required, and उसके बाद कुछ चीजें हैं जिन पर मैं गल कर सकता एक्चुअली मैं बोलना बोलांगा तो probably it may go in hours and hours because I'm in a habit to talk this type of social issues without using a word. So चलो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ एपिसोड थोड़ा छोटा पड़ेगा.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਹੀ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੇ ਵੈਬ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ the amount of information that you have is so much and you have so much to share so I'm really thinking कि ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦਾ season next episode करिए.
नहीं नहीं बहुत अच्छा लगेगा देखो मेरी तरफ से आई ऑलवेज वांटेड एंड आई एम डबली एक्साइटेड आई टेल यू व्हाई बिकॉज आई हैव बीन इंटरव्यूड बाय मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द चैनल्स बट ये सीख वाला जो चैनल है ना फेमस से के पहली बार होया हैगा तो मैनू अंदरों ही बहुत ज्यादा खुशी है आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इट बिकॉज सीख की है सब कुछ कर सकते हैं जस्ट नीड टू हैव अ डायरेक्शन इन केस दे हैव अ राइट डायरेक्शन right place I think they are going to get the platform they wanted to have or they deserve.
So true, so true. There is another I think there is a comment he Ujagar Singh Marwa. Okay, repeat the last part. So he's requesting if you can repeat the last part.
मैं रिपीट यही कर रहे हैं कि ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋग ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧੀਏ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਇਹ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਲੋਕ ਹੈ ਦੇਖੋ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਐਕਸਪਰਟ ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਇਨੋਵੇਟਰਸ एवरीबॉडी नोज इन द वर्ल्ड ਅਸੀਂ
Right.
और मेरे जो दो फील्ड है जो मेरे हार्ट दे बहुत क्लोज है नंबर 1 इज हेल्थ केयर एंड नंबर 2 इज एजुकेशन हेल्थ केयर और एजुकेशन ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬੇਬਲੀ ਆਈ ਫੀਲ ਇਟ ਕੈਨ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਵਰਕ ਅ ਲੋਟ ਫॉर ऑल ऑफ अस ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈਲਥ ਕੇਅਰ ਤੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਤਰਫੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਲੋਡ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਵੇਅਰਐਵਰ ਯੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਮੀ ਟੂ ਟਾਕ ਵੇਅਰਐਵਰ ਯੂ ਵਾਂਟ ਮੀ ਟੂ ਗਿਵ ਆਈਡੀਆਜ਼ और इवन इन फ्यूचर ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋग ਜੋ एम्प्लॉयमेंट है ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਅੱਛੇ ਅਗਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਿੱਖ ਟੈਲੈਂਟ ਆਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਵੀ ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਇਨਕਲਕੇਟ ਦੋਸ ਪੀਪਲ ਟੂ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਆਲਸੋ दैट इज व्हाट वी वांटेड टू डू और ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਫੇਮਸ ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਇਟ ਹੈਜ਼ ਬੀਨ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਗ੍ਰੇਟ ਐਟ ਟੈਲ ਯੂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਪੂਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇਗਾ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਮੇਰੀ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਨਾਰਮਲੀ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਸੀ और मोस्ट ऑफ द टॉपिक वर रादर सोशल और पॉलिटिकल और समथिंग सो ये मैंने बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है कि मैं पिछले सवा घंटे ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ देयर इज नॉट अ सिंगल पॉलिटिकल टॉक सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट इट मैं अपने जो मन दी है वो गल कर रहा हैगा और जो मेरे दिल विच हैगा क्योंकि ये प्रोफेशनल फ्रंट मेरा इस तरह हैगा कि विच इज आई कैन डू एनीथिंग फॉर इट और मेंटल हेल्थ ऐसी चीज हैगी ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ people are suffering 99% जो suicides हो रही हैं without any reason हो रही हैं just because brain behaves like that so we
Right.
have got all opportunities to do it तो I think ਅਸੀਂ लोग सब लोग मिलके कुछ कर सकते हैं और एदिस मीडिया दा रोल देखो बहुत जबरदस्त होता है और सिंस
Right.
वी एट द राइट प्लेस एट राइट टाइम बिकॉज कोरोना करके हर सब कुछ डिजिटल हो गया है डिजिटल होने करके की होता हैगा कि एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल वेयर एवर यू हैव don't need
So
anything
true.
virtually you can talk and share whatever is in your mind so that is really great which I've always wanted to share और बड़ा अच्छा लग गया एक्चुअली मेरे फोन पे भी वॉच पार्टी चल रही होते करीब 200 क्वेश्चन आए हुए हैं सो माय किड्स आर शोइंग मी सो ऐसे आई एम नॉट इन अ पोजीशन टू आंसर देम तो उन्होंने फिर आंसर दवांगा मैं बहुत प्यार करने वाले लोग हैगे थे मैनू कई लोग सुनते हैगे कल थोड़ा और क्वेश्चन आया है कोई
हाँ जी, more detail for air sanitizing machine please. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. So this, what you see on the screen is Cure Air, which we have developed here. Cure Air is something which is not puring the air; it is curing the air. 90% ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ market ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ air purifiers ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ. Air purifier ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਹਵਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ. They just clean the air, the ppms and all, but they nothing do with the virus or bacteria. They just trap it. I'm not going to trap it because if I'm going to trap it, I am inviting the infection. क्योंकि जब आप साफ करोगे, तो आपके हाथ में लग जाएगा. मेरे
हाँ जी.
सिस्टम की है जो ऊपर ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਉਧਰ ਉਹ ਇਨਫੈक्टेड एयर सक करता है चैम्बर के अंदर 3 मिनट तक उसके अंदर एयर रहती है जिसमें कि आपके बैक्टीरिया वायरस और फंगस ऑल द इन्फेक्शन इज ट्रैप्ड देयर एंड द डीएनए इज किल्ड with the help of high power UV lamp and on the bottom the sterile air the clean air is passed out so what you get in the room is 100% pure air so this is what we have been doing hundreds of machines have been installed so far it is very much economic to everybody you can use it at home your studios your hairdressers schools wherever you want you can have it and this is how we want to do it ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਮੰਦਿਰ ਮਸਜਿਦ ਚਰਚ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਡੋਨੇਟ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਾਂ because
Wow.
that is a part of our social endeavor that we need to have this type of machines not because of promotion issue maybe ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਪੂਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੀ ਹਟਾ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਪਰਪਸ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਐਟਲੀਸਟ it act as a deterrent and you can protect yourself from the highly infected covid virus so, और खाली वायरस ही नहीं है बैक्टीरिया और फंगस भी जो the infection fungus on there if you take a microscope you will see in the room you will find thousands of fungus candida fungus around so that also being killed by that machine and it works 24 hours as a workhorse and the cost is 5 rupees per day as electricity that's it so we are making a
Wow.
100 make in India product.
That's real innovation. There was so much that I've learned from you today, and I'm sure my audience is intrigued like me. मैंने सच्ची बड़ा अच्छा लग गया interacting with you and learning. It is so what do I call my Sundays? I don't call leisure Sundays. I call it motivational Sundays because I interact with people like you, wherein I get a chance to learn so much. And it was an hour session, and there was so much that you have spoken about, and sari information. So I really think that we should do episode 2 for this. And thank
It's
you so
you
much.
say it's you say it's a Latin Sunday. I say it's a springy Sunday, like the spring. It just push back your adrenaline again. So the show must
I'm
go on.
sure. I'm sure people gonna use this line "Sing nahi spring" because that was something that I really liked it, and मैं तो कितने copy paste करने वाली हूँ for sure.
So nice of you. Thanks
Thank
that I'm part of giving you some
Thank you
enjoy.
so much. And I'm really sorry for the technical glitch that happened to you and to my audience.
That's okay, but I can see your willingness that despite the fact that technical issue was there, we are still there and we are still talking. So it means that it was interactive. So that is certificate for me.
It, indeed, it was. Indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Kanwar Singh. It's really it was a pleasure interacting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Bye, Guruji Fateh. I'm really sorry to my audience today. Pata nahi how this happened, and technical glitch can happen anywhere. So thank you so much. ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਰਹਿਣ ਲਈ and ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ